So I was gifted a Tom Ford private blend miniature set by a family member to actually kick off my channel. It took me a while to get around to actually reviewing this, so much so that they actually went off the market. The only place you can find them was on eBay, and they were asking crazy amounts for these. So I kept pushing the review, and I thought this would be a great time to break this back out and actually start reviewing it. One, because it's the fall now, winter's around the corner, and a lot of these scents are appropriate for that season. And two, these are actually back on the market now. This is everything you need to know about Tom Ford's private blend miniatures. What's going on YouTube? Tony here, back with another review. I guess you can call this one a review of Tom Ford's private blend miniatures. If this is your first time finding me, I review some of the best fragrances on the market for men and women in 10 post points or less. Consider subscribing if you like this type of content. Without further ado, let's get into it. Post point number one. This is definitely comes with a niche price tag. So the retail price for my set and the set that I saw on the market now, actually in the women's section, retails for $350. So not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. However, it actually is a little cheaper than the per mil price of the 50 mil. The 50 mil is about $250. And so you're looking at about $5 per mil. This is saves you 20 cents and is $4.80 per mil. So you get 72 mils of fragrance for that $350. Tom Ford fragrances are expensive. They just are. And to get that per mil price down to something quote unquote reasonable, you have to probably get the 250 mil, which is going to run you 600 and something bucks. So still expensive, but you get that per mil price down to like 2 something. So it's a pretty penny for this. Post point number 2, what do you actually get for your $350? So with this particular set, you're going to get 6 fragrances, 12 mils each. And if you've seen any of my other videos, I always talk about how I really like these discovery sets, in this case a miniature wardrobe, because you really get to you get variety, and you get to really test out fragrances for a period of time before you actually make that investment. If you're going to splurge and get yourself a high-end niche fragrance like this, I think it's invaluable to be able to put that on your skin and wear it in different scenarios to see how you like it. Now, in my particular set, which is about, I would imagine, like 5 years old, you have 6 fragrances. You have Neroli Portifino, Noir de Noir, Jasmin ROuge, Oud Wood, Tobacco Vanille, and Tuscan Leather. Now, the site that I saw online actually replaced 2 of these fragrances. Jasmin ROuge and Noir de Noir are no longer in the set. They've replaced it with 2 other fragrances, Soleil Blanc and White Suede. I'm not familiar with those scents, so I'm just going to stick to what I know and review the set with the fragrances that I have in it. Post point number 3, how to actually use these. So these are considered decanters, and they look like the larger 250 mil, where they come with bulb syringes. So you can transfer these into the sprayer of your choice. Of course, they have a sprayer that you can buy. Actually don't have a picture of it. If I find it, I'll put it up there. But you can also buy spray bottles off of Amazon or something like that, pretty cheap, that you can transfer these in. And if you don't want to go through the trouble of that, that's okay, because you don't necessarily have to splash these since they're not in the sprayer. This cap actually doubles as a dabber. So you can just kind of fill that dabber up by turning it over like that, and it'll actually stay in place until you get ready to dab that on your skin. Probably not the most efficient way. As you can see, I probably got a little bit of that oud wood on my fingers there. Post point number 4, these all smell good. If you are new to niche fragrances, this is almost like a niche starter pack. Every box you can check as far as what you would want out of a niche fragrance, especially these 6. Kind of check all the boxes for what I would require at this price point. Quality is there, performance is there, the exclusivity, the notes are very authentic. The performance, all the performance on every one of these fragrances is excellent. And you're not gonna find every other guy rocking, you know, the Tuscan leather at this price point. What do these smell like? I think the overarching thing is each one of these have a note that they are that they focus on. You have these supporting notes around them that support it, but they don't overtake the scent. Now, Tuscan leather, just like what you would probably imagine, all about leather. Quite honestly, this is probably the strongest one out of the bunch, almost too strong. This will last you on your skin until you decide that you don't want it anymore, and even when you take a shower, you're probably still going to smell remnants of this. This is super potent, strong stuff, and it quite honestly took me a while to kind of appreciate this. I still don't love it. I'd like it a little more than I did before, just not very versatile in my opinion. It's a rugged fragrance. I don't see a woman rocking this. This is new leather belt is what I got right off the bat. There's a lot of other things going on in this. There's a secondary note of like raspberry that supports it but doesn't really detract from it. And one thing that I noticed with this is, with all these fragrances really, is these are really well blended. It's hard for me to actually pick out individual notes. To me, this is leather supported by a supporting cast of accords that gives this a unique smell. Next up, tobacco vanille. Now, this oddly enough reminds me of my grandmother. Not that it smells like an old woman or anything like that, but my grandmother used to chew tobacco, and this smells like tobacco that she used to chew. It's moist and it's damp, and then you have this vanilla coming in, giving it sweetness. And there's some spice here. I think online I saw that there were just spicy notes. I would be willing to bet that there's the spice that they use is clove. It's kind of like, it's like in the cinnamon family. It smells a lot like the clove oil that I have. Tobacco vanille is another one that's super strong. Now all these are supposedly be unisex. This is probably one that I wouldn't want to smell on a woman, even though it has vanilla in it. I like this one a little better than I like Tuscan leather. Now, oud wood may be my favorite of this set. It is a oriental type fragrance. I'm not sure what the classification is on it. However, this is very elegant, and I'm not crazy about the top. I like the top of this, but not crazy about it. Where this really shines is going to be in the mid. In the mid and the base, this thing is actually absolutely beautiful. Very solid overall in performance, and very nice once you get into the mid and the base. With a very smooth oud. And don't let the oud scare you away. If you smell some ouds and just like, no, oud is not my thing, you're gonna have to give this one a little patience on your skin to develop, and then you'll kind of see the magic come out with this one later on in the progression. Oud wood is like contaminant too. If you want to spread the zombie virus, put it in some oud wood. This gets on everything. If you spray this or dab it, it's going to get on your clothes, it's going to get on your fingers, whatever you touch is going to be on that too. This stuff is like potent stuff. Next up we have Noir de Noir. This one I think kind of fits into that unisex moniker a little better than the others. The first three I think are all very masculine. A woman probably could get away with maybe wearing oud wood, but I would actually label all those male are masculine fragrances. Noir de Noir, I think, is one of those that are actually unisex. Now this is a rose-based fragrance, and I know that's probably going to scare a lot of guys away. There's a combination of rose and chocolate and some other stuff going on that actually make that kind of redeeming this. It kind of hides that rose for me. To me, that rose comes off not nearly as dark as I thought it would, but not necessarily transparent. It's lighter than the first three for sure. It's almost like if you turn rose into a juice. This is rose juice. So not like water, not transparent, not light. But sweet and juicy. It's like a juicy rose is how I would describe this, with some chocolate elements throughout. Very nice, especially from a creative standpoint. Still probably not something I would want to smell like on a day-to-day basis, but for the collector, I really like it. Now, next up, probably the most wearable out of the set is Neroli Portifino. Now this is of course a Neroli based scent and smells like, to me, a expensive bar soap. You're going to be fresh, you're going to be clean, and you're going to be fresh and clean all day because the performance on this is excellent as well. Last and probably least in my book is Jasmin ROuge. Jasmin ROuge is definitely on the woman side. I'm not familiar with that note of jasmine, but this fragrance to me smells like what I would imagine a rose-based fragrance should smell like. Now, I do recognize that it is quality, and once it dries down, it doesn't smell as feminine. It probably moves a little more into that unisex range once it dries down. But for me personally, I never get there. The wife hadn't tried that one. I'd be interested to see if she would actually like that on her skin more so than mine. But definitely my least favorite of the bunch. Post point number 6. Now that these are back on the market, I'm hoping that they come out with a men's version of the set or the option to build your own. Since they probably have these little 12 mils, if you can be able to construct your own private blend, that would be perfect. I would love to see like some of the new offerings come in. Especially something like Plum Japonais, which I've had the opportunity to actually test as well. So in doing research for this, I saw a lot of people and some quotes that say that these are constructed to be blended. And I can see that because these are minimalist scents, but they have a layer of complexity that you can wear them on their own. But I can actually see layering these as well. Now, I'm not a huge fan of layering. I have not had a lot of experience in that. I just bought a Joe Malone set, and they talk a lot about in their marketing, their branding, layering their scents. And I had never heard that with Tom Ford Private Blend until I started looking at researching for this particular video. And so I've been playing around with that. And the one scent that I hope that they replace and put in this set for men is Plum Japonais. Now, I like that scent on its own, but in testing and kind of blending with these, I blended Plum Japonais with Tobacco Vanille, and that was really nice. That's a winner. Now, if you don't know about Plum Japonais, it's plum and I want to say leather. Have not done a review on that fragrance, but that is definitely in the queue because I really like that one, especially with this particular set and blending these together was a winner. Is it worth it? It's going to depend on two things: how often you can wear it, and two, your wallet. And I'll probably buy a gift set of this before I buy a singular full bottle, just because from a versatility standpoint, I don't get to wear this a lot. So this set is 5 years old. All of these bottles are almost full. I don't think these are suited for the Texas heat. One, two, I work in a closed environment, do a lot of collaboration with teammates, or I'm in a client's facility or something like that. And so I don't want to choke people out, hit them over the head with fragrance. So I don't wear these a lot. The wife doesn't like super strong scent. So when I'm going out on a date night and it's only, you're looking at going out on a date, it's going to be 2 or 3 hours at the most. These fragrances are still very potent at that 3 hour mark. And so it doesn't seem right for close encounters either. So I don't wear this a lot. And if I had a caution for anybody who was looking to buy these, make sure that you have the opportunity to wear it, because the cost per wear goes way up if it just sits on your shelf. Now, if you are a collector, these are some wonderful fragrances to dive into. If I'm totally transparent, a lot of these have been on my list over the last year to actually kind of delve into and actually review, but they do have a good layer of complexity to it. One of the first ones I was going to review was tobacco vanille, and I was like, oh well, it's just tobacco and vanilla. And I start wearing, I said, well, there's a lot of other stuff going on in here too. So I end up pushing that review. All in all, you have 6 artisanal fragrances with unparalleled quality, and you're gonna have to get your nose on them to see if you like them enough to finally pull that trigger. Well, that is my review of the Tom Ford miniature set. If you have this set, let me know, and I will catch you guys in the next vid. Peace. This is ROuge juice.